Hello, this is Simracing Corner. Today we're testing a powerful 100 watts per channel mini amplifier with my bass shakers. This is from Banggood. The low price of this amp is what drew my attention. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out as well. Previously I reviewed the budget body shaker tactile transducers, and in that video the amplifier I was using in the review tapped out at 30 watts per channel. And although that amplifier did a pretty good job, I must admit, I knew I could push the body shakers a little bit further, hence getting this more powerful amplifier to try out. It's a simple amplifier design. On the front is the on-off switch and volume dial, and at the rear we have our two speaker channels, a Y-split audio input and DC in for power. This amplifier comes with no accessories or instructions. You need to provide the cables and power supply unit. On the product page there are some basic technical details which are necessary to identify what kind of power supply to use. I should also add those details are not entirely clear. It states a power supply between 12 and 24 volts is supported, but no details on ampage. To get the most potential out of this 100 watt per channel amp, a 24 volt power supply is what is needed, and I'm using a 24 volt 6 amp power supply, which you'll see in a moment does supply enough electric juice for the job. The voltage multiplied by the amps determines the maximum wattage of a power supply, so my 24 volt 6 amp power supply unit is 24 times 6 equals 144 watts. And if we split that number between the two channels, it gives us 72 watts per channel. Some energy is lost through heat dissipation, etc., but it's all close enough to understand how this stuff works on a basic level. If you are more of an expert on this subject, please feel free to correct me in the comments. So hang on to your hats folks, we are ready for the first test. From that brief demonstration, it seems to me this mini amplifier is as powerful as it claims to be. So now we're hooked up to my body shaker bass shakers, which are mounted to the pedal area of the sim rig. You can only see one here. There is another mounted on the opposite side for stereo effects. I'm using SimHub and we're playing R Factor 2 at Sebring. I selected this track as it is very bumpy, so the bass shakers will be constantly active, which is a good stress test for both the performance of the amplifier and the bass shakers at coping with this much power. So here are the results. Well, it's an absolutely awesome combination with my budget body shakers. As you saw on the table, at full volume it was intensely strong, rattling around. So for sim racing I have turned down the dial to 12 o'clock, which is 50% volume on the amplifier, and it still remains very powerful. The difference in the tactile effects I can feel being channeled through my sim rig are easily 2 to 3 times stronger than with my previous mini amplifier, and this was the primary reason I wanted to test a more powerful amplifier, as I felt the effects were a bit weak before. Even though the body shakers are mounted to the pedal base, I can actually feel vibrations in the bottom of my seat. They're travelling that far through the sim rig, Also, some of that tactile is being felt through the steering wheel. Yep, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm really liking it. As the body shakers are working a lot harder than they ever did before, I did pause and touch them frequently to ensure they weren't overheating, which could potentially damage them over time. And to my surprise, they just remained slightly warm throughout my testing. I was expecting them to feel quite hot, but no, not at all. So that was really good. I now know I can drive these body shakers pretty vigorously without any issue. In conclusion, I can completely recommend this mini amplifier for powering your tactile transducers for sim racing purposes. If you already own a set of these body shakers and you want to get more out of them, this amplifier is for you. Or if you're looking into a budget tactile setup, this is cheap for a 100 watts per channel amplifier, so it's definitely wallet friendly too. In hindsight, I wish I bought this amplifier, or at least something of comparable power, rather than the lower wattage amplifier I was running previously, and is what I used in my budget body shaker review video. I did make a comment in the review about still wanting stronger feeling effects, and now I have them using this amplifier. I know a lot of people do run these body shakers with 25 watt amplifiers and they recommend them, and I think people start kind of buying stuff because someone else recommends it, and it also influenced my decision at the time to use an amplifier of similar proportions. And I have to say it was a mistake, well, my mistake indeed. The tactile effects are so much better now. So at the very least, take it from me, even if you don't get this particular amplifier model to run your bass shakers for your budget build, just buy an amplifier more than 25 watts. As I can tell you, these transducers can handle it and will deliver more lively and impressive tactile effects for not much more money. And there you have it, a review and a lesson learnt for me. I hope you found this content useful, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like to support my endeavours to bring you interesting new videos. And of course, please subscribe if you want to keep up with my new videos. New content is published on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. So until next time, happy simming and bye bye.